In today's video, we are gonna be searching through this water, through all the seaweed that passes by for some awesome sea creatures to bring back to my anglerfish aquarium to try to feed my 3 anglerfish, Tiny Tim, Red Hulk, and Raoul the yellow rhino fish. It is a windy day today, guys. It is windy. The clouds are gray. It was just raining a second ago. It's clear over here, but over there, a little gray. So we may get some rain, but we gotta try to find some seaweed first. It is really blowing here. I don't know if you guys can hear that wind, but it is blowing, and we're trying to find some cool stuff to bring back to especially Tiny Tim. So if you guys don't know, I have an anglerfish named Tiny Tim who I have in this little tank here. He's an absolute beast. We actually caught him in some seaweed that I just so happened to look inside of, and this little anglerfish has grown from this tiny little guy. He's put on some size. He's about the size of a quarter now, but he is an absolute fan favorite on the channel, Tiny Tim. And if you guys do want to see the full build of the tank room coming soon, remember to be subscribed because Tiny Tim's going to be getting his own aquarium, which is going to be awesome. So we're gonna try to catch him some food so he can really eat what he wants to be eating. So we caught Tiny Tim in little pieces of seaweed, and what's in that seaweed, why he was hiding in there, the seaweed or sargassum anglerfish that he is because there's a bunch of little shrimp, crabs, fish, you name it, there is stuff hiding in this seaweed here, and that is what he was hunting. That's what he was eating. If anything came by him, he was in that seaweed, he would pop out and smoke them. Just absolutely crush them. So that is what our goal is today. We're gonna try to find the most amount of stuff in this seaweed. First of all, it's a little scarce today. Not much seaweed floating by, but there is a couple little strands floating by me. So I'm gonna have to scoop these guys up, look through it. If there's anything worth Tiny Tim's time, we're gonna bring it back home. Well, it is super windy today, guys. There is a higher than normal chance I'm falling in this water. It's blowing about 20 miles an hour at least. It is so rough offshore, but it's blowing a good amount. I already see some seaweed right in front of me here. It's not the most amount I've ever seen, but we're gonna try to scoop it up with this net here because it extends out and we can scoop up as much as we can. So that is our goal today. I gotta just try my best not to fall into this water because that would suck. So I gotta be careful. I've already fallen in here a couple times. So whatever floats by, we're scooping up and checking out. So all this little seaweed here, we'll take that for sure. Hopefully some bigger stuff starts drifting by us, but the stuff we have available right now, it is what it is. Now what we're gonna do is just scoop it up, flip it on like, an easy to see surface like this rock here, and we're just gonna go through it. I already see a crab, boom. Right there, our first little creature in the seaweed. That Tiny Tim's gonna love this, dude. He's gonna love this. So this little guy right here, who is just so small, that is the first little sea creature found in the sand. We already got one, even in this tiny little bunch, we already got a nice little sargassum crab here that Tiny Tim is gonna absolutely crush. He's gonna be hyped when he sees this, because this is what he was eating before. Little crabs like this, and as you can see, his coloring, orange, right? It's an orange looking crab because if you put him right next to the sargassum here, he blends right in. So he's trying to hide as good as possible in this seaweed until something like Tiny Tim comes and eats him. So let's get this guy in our bucket. All right, what else we got going on in here? Anything? So this is what you do. You just pick it up, shake it around. Little shrimp. So this is the other thing that Tiny Tim was eating, 100%. And these guys are so small, they're gonna be really hard to see, but look at that right there. That right there is a little baby sargassum shrimp right there. Another little sea creature that 100% Tiny Tim was eating in here. So Tiny Tim would sit up in here and just ambush all these little critters that would swim by. And whether there was a shrimp, a crab, some fish, that right there is a prime meal for our little Tiny Tim. Tiny Tim was probably the size of this little shrimp when we first caught him. He was so small. Let's get this guy in the bucket. Now I do want to keep looking through this stuff because we do have a good amount, but there's a nice big cluster coming our way here that we got to scoop up. And I'm going down with the camera, which is super risky. There's a nice cluster right here. Whoa! I almost just went into the water. We got a nice little cluster going, baby. That's gonna have some good stuff in it for sure. All right, the bigger cluster we just picked up. Let's see if anything's inside of this one. Give it a little shake and you hope something jumps out at you. That's ideal. Okay, bigger shrimp, 2 shrimp, and this one's bigger. Okay, perfect. So now we take this seaweed, throw it right back, done. We got 2 much bigger shrimp here. Look at that guy. That is way bigger than the first one we caught. No, where'd he go? And 2 or 3 more right there. That is 3 shrimp total. These guys are a little bit smaller than the first one I had. The first one I had was a jambalaya. So that guy is going in the bucket, and these guys as well. So I don't know if you guys can see, but in that little cluster that we just had, I just shook it all out, we have a bunch of shrimp in this cluster. This one was holding a lot of shrimp. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, big crab here, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 shrimp in that little cluster right there, which is absolutely perfect. We're not letting this big crab get away. Look at this guy. This is bigger than the first one for sure. Look at that. That is Perfect right there. A little sargassum crab for Tiny Tim. He's gonna love this. He's gonna be so excited when he sees this. This is probably the biggest one we've caught today, but we have a bunch of shrimp to pick up because we're gonna be feeding that to him as well. Look at that crab. Really, honestly, a really cool crab. Bright orange like that. I think they're much cooler than the ones you find in the rocks. These guys are super cool, orange, and not gonna lie, I would keep in an aquarium myself. I mean, bright orange crab, that's pretty dope. Let's get this guy in the bucket here. Later, skater. Now these guys are just babies. I've caught way bigger ones before in the past, even miles offshore, 2-3 miles offshore. I've caught some seriously big sargassum crabs inside of the seaweed. Look at this one's attacking a shrimp. He's eating a shrimp. He doesn't even care that he just got caught. They're both eating shrimp. Both of these little crabs have shrimp in their claws right now. They are eating shrimp together. Okay, so I guess they eat the shrimp as well. Look at that. Look at this guy, he's crushing a shrimp. Okay, circle of life, baby. Look at them, circle of life, crushing shrimp together. You absolutely love to see it. But as I was saying, I've caught a bunch of like big ones offshore that we find in seaweed, like offshore, and you put a hook in that, you drop that down to the bottom. Mutton snappers absolutely love. So there's a quick tip from Fish Guy Chris. You ever catch a crab offshore fishing, put a hook in it, drop it down to the bottom, guaranteed you're gonna catch a mutton snapper. They absolutely love crabs. And here's some of these shrimp that I picked up from the rest of that seaweed. And as you can see, the different colors on these guys. Some of them are darker, some of them are bright orange, some of them are a little bit more red. Very interesting how there's a couple different kinds of shrimp. I don't know if they're different exact kinds of shrimp, but they have different colors entirely, which is really, really interesting. So we got a bunch of shrimp, a bunch of crabs. We're looking good so far. Let's try to find a fish. We got a nice cluster coming our way here. A nice cluster. This should be really good. There's a possibility of fish in this right here, for sure. Just gotta scoop it up nice. Make sure whatever you're scooping hopefully stays in here, and we are good to go. Look at that, that was a good little toss here. A good little scoop up here. There's a big piece down there, I gotta grab it. For sure, grabbing this. Couple big pieces coming my way. This could be where we find maybe Tiny Tim's brother right here would be great. Whoa, there was almost it right there. First almost fall of the day, or second almost fall of the day. So honestly, what I just thought of, I am scooping up this seaweed here. There's some good clusters coming my way. We could find Tiny Tim's brother, Larry Little, or Little Larry. So we got Tiny Tim, and we are on the hunt to find Little Larry, who would be another anglerfish to go along with Tiny Tim, which would be sick. Little Larry and Tiny Tim, but we gotta find Little Larry first. That's a whole nother mission in itself. We got a good cluster here that we can look through, see what's going on up in this area. Come on, Little Larry. That would be just insanely cool to find a Little Larry in here. We've already got our crabs, we've already got our shrimp. It would be epic to find another anglerfish, guys. Just insane. A couple bigger shrimp in this one. We'll pick all this up at the end. What we're hunting right now is Tiny Tim's brother. Just one shrimp in there. That's what's crazy. Caught a decent sized shrimp, kind of medium sized, but what is crazy is that we looked through that whole cluster. It was a much bigger cluster than the first one, and we only found one shrimp in that. So just imagine, when I found Tiny Tim, I think I found him in the really small piece of seaweed. So maybe they like hanging out in the smaller stuff, but we're gonna keep looking. There's a big piece going on right here. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to reach that. No, that's out of reach. Look at that big boy out there. That's a nice piece of seaweed. That one definitely has the anglerfish drifting away from me. Bummer, bummer. Whoa! I gotta be careful with that rock, dude. That one rock keeps almost getting me. Whoa! Oh my God, I almost went in. I was in, I'm in. I'm fully in the water now. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. Let's go, baby. That's Fish Guy Chris style. Let's go. When you're being a fish guy and you're out here on these rocks, you gotta just accept it. You gotta accept the fact that you're living dangerous and you may fall in this water. So come on, let's find our anglerfish here. Big crab. Bigger crab, baby. I thought that was the angler. For a split second, I thought this was our angler here because he, small, but he was a little bit darker than all the other crabs. Like, look at this guy's colors. He's got much different colors than the other ones. The other ones were bright. This guy's more of like a mix, like a calico. He's got orange and brown in there to really blend in with that seaweed. Definitely the biggest crab of the day is right here. So let's get this guy in the bucket as well. Come on, Little Larry. Where are you? Where are you, Little Larry? Another little dude right here. Nothing much in that one, except this thing. What is this thing right here? It's really small, but it's bright red. Is that just another shrimp? Or is that some kind of, yeah, I think that's another shrimp. But he definitely looks a little bit different. He's got some more red coloring on him. So we're gonna let this guy go back in the water. Now I'm coming down to check this seaweed here, and I see a monster crab on this one already. I don't even have to scoop it up to know. There is a, I don't know if you guys can see, right on this brown one here, there's a big, much bigger crab on this one. So watch this right here. Just gonna scoop him up. You guys are gonna see him. Scoop him up. This is a much bigger crab, a jumbo crab. So I just scooped up that brown piece that I just showed you. The exact crab. Whoa, this guy's big. This guy right here, look at that guy. That is a beast. Look at that crab. That is a true sargassum crab right there. So that's the same thing we've been catching, except this guy is much bigger. Look at that claw he's got on him too. A serious looking claw right there with those, like, he almost got like barbs on the end of that claw, which is insane. Really cool colors. This one's more brown, so maybe as they get bigger, they get more brown and try to blend in with that seaweed a little bit better, because he was in more of a darker piece of seaweed. So this guy right here is a champ. Nothing can eat this guy. None of my anglerfish can actually fit this guy in their bellies, I don't think, and actually eat them. So even Red Hulk would have trouble swallowing this guy. So we don't need to take him home. So we're gonna put him back in a piece of seaweed. Hopefully he stays there, right? So if we can scoop him up in a piece of seaweed. So right now he's in this cluster here. And let's see if we put him back in the water if he jumps out of it. What he should do is stay inside this seaweed, but you never know with these guys. They get frisky and they jump off. So there you go. Oh, he got pissed and he swam off. So he's right there swimming, trying to find another piece of seaweed. He's way out there. See him? Right in the middle of the screen there. He's darting away to find another piece of seaweed. Nice. Go get him, buddy. So there you have it. Biggest crab, didn't even need to scoop up. I sight fished that thing. We gotta find some fish though. I'm so gonna fall in this water bad one time. Whoa. Next cluster. Whoa, big boy again. Another big boy. What is that? There's a big old crab in here. We've definitely found some big guys. We just haven't found little Larry yet, which is what we're hoping to find here. There's that big crab. There's a big old crab in here. Another one. Oh! Jesus, he got me good. Come here, shithead. This guy got me really good. This one got me really good. Get out of here. We don't want that big crab. Damn, that hurt. That hurt worse than the flipping the rocks video. Hold on, wait a second. What is this? Is that a baby anglerfish? No, it's not a baby anglerfish, but it is fish. Okay, all right, we'll take these guys. It's not a baby anglerfish, but it is fish. Dang it. I thought for a split second it was gonna be a little anglerfish, but instead we got two, which is great for Tiny Tim and the other anglerfish, two little baby SMs, which is fine, but I definitely thought this guy was a little bit darker than the other one. I definitely thought that, I saw the back of his head like that, or the top of his head, and I thought that is a baby anglerfish. I thought we found little Larry, but we did not found an SM, but two fish. That's pretty good. Now the reason why we should know that there's stuff living in this seaweed is because you guys have seen me the last couple of videos. I've been catching a lot of parrotfish. I caught parrotfish on seaweed, caught parrotfish on sand flea. So in the seaweed, the parrotfish went crazy over the seaweed. They absolutely loved it because they're going up to the seaweed, they're munching on it, they're trying to eat these, you know, they have those big teeth, they're trying to crunch on those crabs, they're gonna crunch on those big shrimp, those fish that they find in the seaweed. That's why it makes such a good bait. It's like a no-brainer. You gotta give the fish what they want. If they want seaweed, you're gonna catch them on seaweed. So that's why the parrotfish swim up and down on all these rocks and are constantly eating that seaweed because there's a bunch of stuff living in it. So here is all the stuff we caught from the seaweed today. I could have stayed all day and searched through so much seaweed. I probably could have found a ton more crabs, but I was throwing a lot more back because we don't need that many. We're only taking some for Tiny Tim and the anglerfish, but we do have a couple fish in there. We have some bigger crabs, some smaller crabs, some little tiny shrimp you guys can see swimming around in here, jumping all over the place. You can see how orange the crabs are, and you can see why they are orange. If I put a piece of seaweed inside of this little container here, the crabs would blend right into that. That's why they have developed this orange color. It's perfect for them to hide in that seaweed, and that's just exactly where we found them, right in that seaweed. So we got some that are bright orange, some that are a little bit more mixed with brown and orange, and we got those shrimp. Some are pale, some are darker, and then we have those two Sergeant Majors that we ended up scooping up along with that seaweed. So a nice little collection here for Tiny Tim and the boys. Now Tiny Tim, he's the little beast up here. He's in that container. We are gonna be getting him his own tank. He needs his own tank. These guys need their own tank. Everyone needs their own tank to thrive in here. Actually, these boys can probably stay together. They're homies. But Tiny Tim, he deserves a castle. So we may have to make him that in the tank room build. We're doing an entire tank room build. I have a spare room in the house. You guys wanted it. You were commenting like crazy on my last video. Do the tank room, do the tank room, do the tank room. We can get so many tanks. We can probably get, I could probably fit like 6 to 8 tanks in there, big ones. Like our big one here. We got smaller ones here. We're gonna have anglers, sharks. Maybe we'll do a freshwater tank with some big bass that we can go catch. We can do a whole series on just loading up that tank room with some seriously cool stuff. I think it's gonna be so much fun for you guys to follow along with. So Tiny Tim needs his own tank. We gotta throw these crabs in there, see if he wants to eat them. I don't know if he's gonna eat the crabs. I'm sure that's what he was munching on before when he was living in that seaweed. But now that he's in his little container there with all the other boys, he's been on a steady diet of straight up fish and glass minnows for the last couple months. So let's see if he remembers how to eat a crab. All right, now there's Tiny Tim right there. I got the GoPro in there just in case we can see him. Now I'm gonna take one of these bigger crabs first. first. I'm gonna put in a bigger crab. So right there, got a nice bigger crab here. We're gonna try to put this guy in with Tiny Tim. So here we go. Don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see it from the GoPro, but there is a crab right there in that container, scurrying around. Now, I don't know if Tim is gonna be interested in him. Let's find out. I don't know if the GoPro is gonna pick it up either, but let's see if he wants a crab. So Tim's looking at him. He's a little bit like, what's going on here? I think he wants more of a fish meal. So not interested in the crab. He's kind of going behind the GoPro there. Interesting. Okay, that's fine. We got plenty of crabs for the other anglers to eat because they really enjoy eating these crabs. That crab's going over by him though. Oh, the crab's gonna escape. I don't think he's interested in the crabs, guys. I don't think he's interested in the crabs. Let's try a shrimp. All right, now I got a little tiny shrimp here. I'm gonna try to get in there. Did he get in? No, he went out the other way. The shrimp landed on the outside of the rock. No. Now I'm gonna let Tiny Tim float around with that crab for a second, but what I wanna do is try to put this little crab for Raul. See if he wants to eat it. All right, Raul, you want this crab? You want this crab, bro? Is he gonna eat this crab? No way, right? Should I try to drop it on him? Okay, I just dropped a crab on him. There's a crab in him, dude. There's a crab literally on top of him. He feels the crab. The crab is in the sand. The crab buried himself. The crab buried himself. You know what? Crabs are the hardest thing in the world to feed. They are so uncooperative. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna dump the rest of the jar into Tiny Tim's little container here. We're gonna see which one he wants to eat. All right, the rest of the boys, all the stuff we caught, going in Tiny Tim's container here, including the fish. So let's see which one he wants to eat. We got shrimp, got everything in there. Oh my God, he wants a fish, I think. Oh my God, he's eating the crabs now. Now he's going for the crabs. Did he already eat a Sergeant Major? Did I miss that? No, there's still one in there. Eat that one right there. Dude, he's overwhelmed with food options right now. Overwhelmed with food options. He might be too fat because I've been feeding him like a beast. He might be too fat right now to even want to eat. I mean, just look at that anglerfish right there, guys. That is what I caught. I wish the camera would do a better job focusing on him. We're gonna get his tank set up so nice where oh, did he just eat one? He just crushed one. He just crushed, yep. So his food of choice is the Sergeant Majors. He can have crabs in there. He can have whatever he wants in there. He chooses fish over everything. Now we know 100%, he doesn't want nothing but the Sergeant Majors, and he eats fish like a tank. He eats like a maniac. Eats everything you put in here except crab and shrimp. I guess he was a big fish guy. Tiny Tim is a fish guy. It's confirmed. And for those of you guys who haven't seen this tank, you're probably thinking, oh, why is Tiny Tim in that container? Why is he floating around in there? He needs his own tank. First of all, yes, that's coming soon. Second of all, he's in there because we have Raul here who will swallow him in a second, and we have Red Hulk who eats like things like triple his size that he can easily swallow Tiny Tim. So Tiny Tim has to stay in that little container. I have to feed him like that, and it's honestly so hard to do. So once we get him in his own tank, it's gonna be way better. He's gonna have a nice little tank, clear glass. We're not gonna be able to see him great, and we're gonna be able to feed him like a million fish at once. It's gonna be way better than what this is now. But now we know he likes fish. Tiny Tim's a fish guy. Oh, he got another one. He got the other one. Let's go. Destroyed the two fish. That's insane. He crushed those two fish like nothing. Both of those Sergeant Majors in his belly. He'll be full for a couple days, and then he's gonna wanna eat more. But we have those crabs and shrimp in there. I wonder if I leave him alone. Obviously his food of choice is gonna be fish, but I wonder if I just let those sit in there. I wonder if he's gonna eat those. So I'm gonna keep an eye on him over the next couple days, watch him, see if he's really eating those seaweed crabs and those seaweed shrimp. Let's see what he decides to do with them. Is he gonna let them live, or is he gonna eventually eat them? I will let you guys know, I'll keep you guys updated on that. That should be really cool to watch. Well guys, I had a blast today scooping up stuff in the seaweed. I was really hoping to find little Larry, Tiny Tim's long lost brother. We are gonna stay on the hunt. Anytime I go out and do a video, especially for this summer, because summertime is when there's a lot of seaweed. Anytime I go out to do a video and I see seaweed, I'll scoop up at least a couple little patches for you guys just to see if we can find little Larry in there. Because that would be so cool to have a tank with two sargassum anglerfish, Tiny Tim and little Larry. Come on. I need you guys to start spamming little Larry in the comments. We need him. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.